Hey everyone, this is Luminous coming to you guys with a pro Dota commentary. This commentary is affiliated with DC, and for more commentaries content, check us out on DotaCommentaries.com. Today I'm going to bring you Game 1 of a best of 5 series between LGD and Tyloo. Now I know I casted 2 games between these two teams not too long ago, but this is the tournament final of the CREG tournament, and it's a best of 5. And you know, I think last time I casted a 3-game series between Stars Boba and I think Alienware DG. And a lot of people were really giving me positive feedback. They really enjoyed the game-to-game transition in terms of pick and ban analysis. So I'm going to be doing something similar. Now these are Chinese games, and so mostly we're going to see very similar picks, even transitioning from game to game. But hopefully we're going to see some game-to-game transition. Let's say if we see a hero that's only really hard this game, hopefully that hero will be banned or picked up by the other team in the next game. So that's the core reason I'm picking up these games. Now I can't promise these are going to be very interesting games. Again, Chinese have a very similar playing style, so the games from game 1 to game 2 to game 3, game 4, 5, you might see very similar playing style. However, we do have some distinctive heroes being picked up for these two teams. For example, if you watch my series between LGD and Tyloo, you know that LGD loves to go that Furion pick, the Clockwork first pick. So let's see if LGD is going to be doing similar, or Tyloo is going to be a little bit afraid of that and banning it. Looks like they're not going to be that afraid of it. They do ban the Bat Rider, the Doombringer, and the Lich. Meanwhile, the Scourge Sentinel picks the Invoker, Weaver, or bans the Weaver, Invoker, and the Ancient Apparition. So let's see what Tyloo is going to pick up first. They do have quite a bit of choices here. They can go for Morphling, and if you haven't caught up to drift yet, Tyloo seeking the water Pokemon on a water hero. I have not seen him yet lose it, but they're gonna go Pugna first, which is very interesting because I mean, Morphling first is a very strong pick, and a lot of you guys, I think I saw both on DotaCommentaries.com and on YouTube, and you guys are asking why don't Chinese team first pick Morphling? You know, why don't they first pick it? It's a hero that has a really high win rate, and I think a good response to that is yes, it is a hero that wins a lot, but there's still a lot of things that could be done against it. Morphling, even though it's a very versatile carry, does have a period of weakness, and that's before he gets his first core item. Even if you go for a bottle first and just farm really hard, he doesn't have very good mid-game extension. I think the strongest mid-game build for him is that BKB first build, but even with that, you could still easily kill Morphling with the BKB first. So if you first pick Morphling, you open up yourself to some hardcore pushing. So if, let's say, Tyloo first pick Morphling, which is it's a good pick, and it's, you know, why not, right? That's what you're thinking. If LGD answers back with Pugna and Syllabear, then you're probably gonna see a 15-minute racks, a 20-minute racks, and you know, by that time Morphling might just have a Perseverance or might just have a Ogre Axe, and there's really no way you could, you know, defend a push with the Morphling base strat if they go hardcore push on you. It looks like LGD is going to respawn by Syllabear and a Windrunner, both very safe picks, and we're probably going to see Syllabear being played by ZSMJ. We might see a YYF Windrunner, although lately he has been playing more and more Clockwork. So I think this is the correct response, although I would have been a little bit happier if they picked up Morphling Windrunner, but then they would have ran into trouble of giving up the Syllabear to the Scourge, who already have a Pugna, and Syllabear plus Pugna is probably one of the most devastating pushing strat. So I think in this regard, picking up the Pugna for Scourge almost forced the Sentinel to pick up the Syllabear, if you want to think of that way. Syllabear, usually you don't see it being first pick, you don't usually see it picked so quickly, you generally see it as the second or third pick. But I think picking up the Pugna first has forced LGD to pick the Syllabear. In return, because they have the Syllabear, they won't be able to pick the Morphling, because that would just too many carries. So I think it was a very smart, intricate first pick by Pugna. And I know, like, if you see the Pugna first pick, you might be thinking, well, that's that's standard, right? That's a Pugna first pick. But the picking and banning implication of that is kind of huge. And then now they got themselves Pugna, Enchantress, and Morphling, and I think Tyloo is off to a very good opening. And I you know, 4 minutes into the picking phase, I might just say, hey, let's go next replay, because guess what? We have Seeking on Morphling again. We're gonna be seeing some surfs instead of waveform. We're gonna be seeing some like super effective moves right now, and these guys on LGD, I'm not too sure where they handle it, and they do pick up the Clockwork here. And now that will open up themselves to be to have that global ganking strat, because they have some very good solos, which is the Windrunner and the Clockwork. The Clockwork gives them the global rocket good gank, good pushing capability. They do have a somewhat hard to kill carry on the side lane. You could put the Windrunner in that position, or you could put the Syllaber in that position. Both pretty good solo heroes that are a little bit difficult to kill and can work with the EXP. So all they need right now is probably Enigma and then a Furion, and they could just go into that transition into that you know, the 4-man carry, 4-man gank push strat that LGD's been having moderate success with. And it looks like Tyloo's going to be banning the Visage. I'm not too sure whether that was the smartest ban. Meanwhile, I do like this ban from LGD though, because giving both Ty Hunter and the Morphling to the Scourge is just a little bit too much to handle. Generally, the Ty Hunter is a great hero to counter initiate. I think to really beat a Morphling, you have to initiate on him fast and hard and kill him quick before he activates BKB, before he activates Morph. I think that's the only true way that you could kill the Morphling. And Ty Hunter is really a good hero to counter against that, so banning it from LGD is a great choice. I'm not too sure if you guys could hear a lawnmower going outside, and there's no way I could stop that, so I apologize. Hopefully it'll just go away quick. And yes, I think in the last 2 commentaries I have fan noises in the background. I had a bear attacking me at some point, so I apologize for that. And hopefully as this game goes on, as this series goes on, my mic don't act up as much. Yes, Tyloo senses the pushing coming from Sentinel, because again, Syllaber pushes really hard, so they banned the Furion, and that in effect effectively has prevented LGD from going to that push ganking strat they love so much. So let's see how LGD is going to work with. I think 3 picks and 5 bans done. I feel like LGD is a little bit behind because again, Morphling and the Pugna is just some of the best heroes in this current version. And yes, I believe Syllaber, Windrunner, and Clockworks are great. I don't think they synergize as well with the compared to the Scourge team. And if you look, I mean, generally we do see Ethereal Blade, Morphling combo, right? But they don't need it right now because they just have one built in with the Decryptify. So they have pretty good nuking damage as well. And it just depends on what Tyloo does next. I think Tyloo needs to pick up some defensive heroes because a push from the Syllaber is going to be imminent. You get inevitable, right? The push is going to be coming for sure, so you want to have some good AoE. The Pugna grants you very good AoE already, and that ward from the Pugna also gives you some great pushing defending capability, so I like that. But I'm hoping to see something like a Lina or a Twin Head Dragon or something that could kill creeps relatively quickly. They also need another solo lane to work with. The Enchantress most likely is going to be in the jungle. A Shaker is still in the pool. It'll be good to see a Shaker Morphling dual lane with the Enchantress in the jungle, a Pugna, and then a long lane solo. Let's see what they pick up though. I don't really know what they'll be going into. Meanwhile, LGD, I feel like they're on the worst off of the end of the stick. They do have Syllaber, but Syllaber pushes. I mean, the reason why we don't see Syllaber being first picked is that there's so many things that could counter Syllaber. I won't say counter, well, I guess counter, but there's so many heroes that does well against the Syllaber, and I think Tyloo is right now thinking about that. What hero would do well against Syllaber? Crystal Maiden wouldn't be too bad because you can fry. Oh, never mind. Take that back. Totally take that back. What I was about to say is that Crystal Maiden does well against the Syllaber because the Frostbite lasts 10 seconds on the Spare Bear, but I think they changed that a long while back. So excuse my brain fart moment. Yes, they are going to pick up the Shaker, and that is going to give them a very strong dueling, very strong and hard to kill dueling. I think allowing the Scourge picking up the Shaker, I think they mostly just got outpicked because again, the best way to kill a Morphling is to go in and kill them fast and hard. Unfortunately, they can't really do that with the Shaker now. Who do you initiate on, the Shaker or do you initiate on the Morphling? If you initiate on the Shaker, then Morphling says fine. Well, you know what? Kill my Shaker, no big deal. I'm gonna just kill you guys late. If you initiate on the Morphling, then the Shaker's Fissure is just a really difficult tool to deal with. So I think having both Shaker and the Morphling has just secured themselves an easy victory. Aside from being completely outplayed, I think Tyloo has a good chance of winning this game. LGD is gonna just completely throw out their late game scenario and just go for some early game push. And I think if they want to win, they have to win early game. They do have the Crystal Maiden, and let's see whether Crystal Maiden will be maxing her aura by 7 or maxing her Nova by 7. It really depends on how the laning stage goes, and really depends on what lane is going to be assigned. We're most likely going to see a tri-lane Syllaber, although Syllaber needs quite a bit of EXP to get to level 5. Once you get to level 5, you're basically like Superman, you'll be proccing like crazy. But a tri-lane Syllaber is not bad because you do have the possibility of pushing really hard, especially if you're up against a hero that can defend really well. And it looks like Tyloo's going to complete the last hero with with a Broodmother, which is very, very interesting. Broodmother by itself can pressure a lane, so that in essence you will force LGD to constantly have someone to defend. But on the other hand, if you look at the LGD lineup, very, very AoE heavy, so they can defend it. They can defend the Broodmother push pretty easily, in my opinion. Also, Broodmother is not that good against Clockwork, not that good against the Windrunner, and definitely not that good against Syllabir. Most of these heroes do pretty well against the Syllabir. Do pretty well against the Broodmother. So I'm not too sure what the Broodmother pick is about. They definitely don't need another pusher because they push pretty hard already. We'll see how it plays out. Most likely we're going to see Broodmother in the long lane. Yes, they're going to go very, very early game, go for the Chen. I do like this pick very much so because not only does it freeze up yet another lane, or freeze up the lane a little bit more for the Syllabir, giving him even more XP. This Chen pick is going to allow them to push extremely hard. But we might run into a trouble of, hey, Chen is going to be pushing at us with creeps. I'm going to just use Enchantress Enchant and just steal it away. So we're going to see some very low-Z Enchant and Holy Persuasion battles between these two guys. And let's see how the laning is going to be. We're going to have a solo mid. No, we're not going to have a solo mid Syllabir. I don't think the Chinese has ever jungled a Syllabir either. No, they're going to just lane him. And I think they're going to do a top. And then we're going to have a Clock bot solo. We'll see though. I think in terms of a 1v1 engagement between a Clock and Broodmother, I will give the lane to the Broodmother because there's no way you're going to kill the Broodmother. And secondly, you might be afraid of a push. You do have the Rocket Flare and that can defend pretty well, but once the Broodmother hits like level 5, once she picks up her Soul Ring, you could just endlessly spam that Soul Ring spawn Spiderling on the Clockwork. And I mean, he is pretty tank, but yeah, he's gonna go down. Looks like he's gonna go bot, and we're gonna have a Syllabir and a Crystal Maiden, I presume. Yeah, Syllabir and Crystal Maiden against a Broodmother. And now it depends whether Crystal Maiden has a ward. Yes, great reaction, has a Sentry Ward. Guess this is lane correctly. This is a very good reaction, and that means this Broodmother will have 0 XP, and Broodmother, as you all know, not good in terms of defending the lane. I mean, you can kind of spawn Spiderlings and kind of use it to tank a little bit, but it doesn't tank that much, and you're also giving up a lot of XP and gold to the other team as well. So I mean, as picks go, I think this LGD team is a little bit outpicked. But in terms of laning, I think they do have pretty good advantage here. We're going to see a Haste Stream being picked up by the Crystal Maiden, and she's going to do some very good harass on this Broodmother. Looking at the mid lane here, we do have a Windrunner mid, and then a Pugna playing by Super on the other side. And Windrunner mid has become more and more popular, as I think I think a lot of teams have been putting a lot more focus on winning the mid lane. And Windrunner is one of the best heroes to win lanes at because she has a great nuking animation, a great attacking animation, and fairly good starting damage. So she is going to have a fairly easy time against the Pugna mid. And let's see if Broodmother is going to get ganked off. There is a Sentry Ward, so she is seeing. We're going to have some Nova come in. But I like this choice. So she is destroying both trees, so there's no kind of flank ganks from the Fog coming in for Crystal Maiden or Chen. That means she is going to definitely see anything that's coming in from the left side. But that doesn't keep her safe because Nova is a very long cast range. It's a 700 cast range, and then Nova's 400 AoE. So we're looking at 1,000 plus range. And they definitely could see the Broodmother, and they definitely could make a very easy go on the Broodmother if the Chen picks up a good stunning creep. And they do have a Troll, so they can make a go on the Broodmother if they choose to do so. Maybe they're feeling like we want to have the Syllabir level up a little bit more, and then we'll see how it plays out. Meanwhile, looking at top lane here, we do have Clockwork versus a Morphling, and Morphling's definitely going to have an easy time. As you see a mid lane gank, there's that Decrepify, Long Fisher, and a Stomp, and a Clap coming in. Very easy first blood, very well coordinated first blood from the Chinese, and Tyloo picks up an easy kill. And I think this definitely just gave the lane to the Pugna. This means that the Pugna is going to get the next rune spawn if he doesn't give it to support. There's a haste rune, so when his spot out comes, yeah, he's going to be blasting the creeps. And I think that gank is kind of just wound up in the lane. And like we all know, mid lane ganks. Ganks on the mid lane just have a good impact on the game because, like I said earlier, Chinese have been paying more and more attention in terms of winning that mid lane. And once you win the mid lane, you have pretty good chance of winning the game entirely. Hasted on the Shaker. I think Clockwork does know. He senses it and it's going to turn back. And so far, I believe that's 2 lane 1. Yes, that's 2 lane 1 for the Scourge team. And Sentinel, I mean, they're doing a pretty good job, remarkably keeping up the Broodmother. Broodmother only level 2. Meanwhile, Syllabir is almost 4. So I think they're winning this lane fairly handily, but they're going to they have to win this lane a lot to offset the other 2 lane, as we see a Chen and a Crystal Maiden gank on the Pugna. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get anything done. I think right now, I think the Scourge Sentinel team should transition into a push here, and I think they're gonna make a go on the Windrunner. Windrunner sees the Shaker coming in. No, they're gonna just back off. There was no Decrepify to slow, and I don't think they could get a kill. And looks like Windrunner is gonna get her farm going on. 11-2 is her farm. Meanwhile, Pugna is Pugna. Where's Pugna? Pugna's stop moving. 7-3. So despite having a kill on the Windrunner, Windrunner is actually still leading in farm. Tron, by the way, one of the best solo mid players in China, and I think they're gonna transition into a push here. Chen barely level 2, so until he hits level 5, I believe, yes, until he hits level 5, you won't get a second creep. So I think this tower is gonna be okay. Meanwhile, Broodmother already hitting level 4, but critically, we have Syllabear hitting level 5, so we're gonna see some entangling hacks going on this Broodmother. And Broodmother, not the sturdiest hero in the early game stage, especially if you don't have that web backing you up. And I think with that, I think the Sentinel team should transition into a push. They do have to bring up Basilius. They're looking for some good pushing creep. The Tro would have been good. I don't think they should kill that Tornado creep though, because Tornado gives you +3 armor on your creeps, and it stacks fully when they bring up Basilius. And that is a very, very good pushing creep. We'll see what they do. Crystal Maiden and the Chen is just hanging in the jungle. Crystal Maiden still haven't skilled her aura yet. They found an Alpha Wolf and they find a Tornado creep. This is a creep you want. No, they go for Alpha Wolf, which does give them quite a bit of plus damage bonus. But I'm not too sure whether they get anything unless I, sorry, missed a kill on the top lane. But as you imagine how it happened was a Fissure into an Enchant, into some Collapse, into a Waveform kill. And we see have a Woke Enchantress player picks up an easy kill there. And let's see what LGD can do, because right now they're losing their lane pretty badly. Some spiders being killed at the jungle, no big deal. Syllabear is almost hitting 6. Once she hits 6, he can just go into true form, and I believe he gets the call damage, the secondary ability from the true form, and you can push fairly hard because it's some decent plus damage there. We'll see though. Bear is quite low. They do have the they don't have the glaive throw. Glaive throw was lost. That would have been a good chance to push. No, actually, Lungju is skilled Rabbit at level 1, so he generally, most likely, you see True Form being skilled at level 6, because it's in case of being ganked, you know, you want the extra HP. But I think he's skilled Rapid in this case is that he realized that the Sentinel, the Scourge team is not going to be ganking him at all. He realized that the Scourge team is going to be focusing most of the attention at the top lane and the mid lane, and byproduct of that is that yes, you're going to have 2 supports jungling together, but they're not that high level, and I don't think the Sentinel is getting that much done at this bot lane. I think this lane is mostly a wash now. Yes, the Syllabear is 1 level ahead, but I think at this point the Broodmother has got enough farm and got herself anchored to the lane. She can start to use spawn spiderlings for farm and then send it into the jungle to get even more farm in there. So I think in this regard, so you see a Crystal Maiden gank coming in, a good gank from A30, picking up the haste rune and reacting on it quite quickly. And I think that has, I guess, mitigated the advantage that the Pugna has gotten earlier. We do have 21-7 on the Windrunner, and let's see what item she's going to be going first. I think she might go into a phase boot into a mecha. I think that should be the correct build, although they might need to worry about a little bit about the pushing capability. Mecha's definitely not the best pushing item. I think a 4-staff wouldn't be that bad. I think both items would be good, but Mecha's most likely what we're going to be seeing next. And is the Sentinel push coming yet? No, they're going to just try to do more ganks. We're going to have a smoke gank coming in, and if they could get a kill on the Pugna, that's going to be huge. And they're going to be going on the back. They don't have the best creep for this though, and let's see what Windrunner cook up, and they are going to reveal the invisibility. There's going to be Shackle Shot not going to hit, but Nova and Freeze Bite is going to be enough. And I think Crystal Maiden might be going down. No, she is not. Takes a lot of tower damage, but I think that's another kill on the Pugna, and that's definitely worth it. On the top lane here, we have level 3 on the clock with only 4 creep kills, and Seeking the Water Pokemon is farming with 42 and 25. That's what? That's like almost 70 creep kills in 7 minutes. That's 10 a minute in terms of last and deny combined. He is creep equilibrium this wave like no other. Broodmother starting to be a little bit of a threat already, level 7. And once you have, yeah, you see this, a Soul Ring plus Spawn Spiderling, you just spam it non-stop on the Syllabear, and Syllabear is going to have trouble staying in lane now. Broodmother is coming, he's trying to get a kill. Can he get it? I think we have Crystal Maiden coming in as well. Crystal Maiden does not have a Sentry Ward. That's Chen has a Sentry. Ooh, Crystal Maiden in danger of getting down as well. So without having the Sentry Wards, without having the necessary restorative, actually Brewmother is winning the lane passively by herself, and that's very, very impressive. I think this, I can't really call this a tri-lane, because this mostly was a kind of a solo versus solo with the threat of tri-lane coming in. Brewmother doing some kind of pesky harass. And there we go, more spawn spiderling harass as we see some dive going out on the top lane. Top lane, the tower is a little bit in danger, but there's a rocket flare. I think they could defend this fairly easily. I do believe Sentinel still have a glyph, but no, we have a backstab coming in. We're gonna have a very easy Fisher. Oh, blocks on the wrong side, but Morphling with the surf coming in, and that is a super effective double down. Yeah, you guys get it. Super effective, and they do have 2 glaive thrower for this, and I think that this tower is gonna be going down for sure. Meanwhile, Steffi by Steffi, by the way, is Crispbug, and I think they are aiming for a kill on this Brewmother. And even if they get this kill on the Brewmother, I think she has anchored herself in the lane for far too long. They definitely should have got at least make an attempt on the kill, but no attempt was even made, and I think that was a little bit more of a strategic mistake from LGD side. So 8 minutes in the game, I believe the mid lane's a little bit of wash. Top lane, I mean, handily won by Tyloo here with 55 CS on the Morphling. Bot lane DJGenericname has pretty good farm as well, 42, but I think Brewmother has level 7, level 8 by now, and she has 26 creep kill and probably quite a bit of neutral as well. And I think they are going to make a go. We're going to have smoke and, oh, come on, dust him, Nova, dust, and Nova, okay, and a bite first, alright, dust, oh, come on, I think that was not the correct order. Should have dusted Nova and then bite. Well, I don't think it wouldn't matter at all, but that was, unfortunately, they couldn't get anything done. It looks like YYF gone down at the meantime, and we're gonna have a push coming in from the Sentinel, and I think they're gonna get tier 2 tower as we're gonna try to sneak a tier 1 tower kill, but no, Punglet ports back in. Tower is gonna go down. Who's gonna last hit it? The Scourge last hit it, no big deal. Let's see if the Sentinel could get one of their towers. Right now they're down by 2 towers, and they have yet to pick up one of their own. They're gonna pick up one here, but they're getting and they're threatening to get racks. No, Clockwork's there to defend it, and let's see if Brewmother good to. Oh no, Brewmother's not gonna get defense. They do get a clap on him, but without dust to reveal, they actually don't know that. Let's see if the Sentinel is going to try to get another push going on, but Scourge aiming for the mid tower as well. They're going to just take so many tower, and I think Morphling is going to get to a very, very early item. Let's see what Morphling is going. There is Mana Boots already picked up on the Enchantress. Does the Shaker have Mana Boots as well? No, Shaker just have a smoke. Not too sure what. Is he going for Naked Dagger? Let me check his gold. Shaker has 500 gold. I think he's been buying a couple of wards. Meanwhile, let's see. Okay, no Naked Dagger, just going for regular items. And Morphling's camping around. He does have 67 creep kill, and they have a good shackle shot. Can they get a kill? Oh, Pugna very low. Hand of God goes up, and they are gonna get a kill as we suffer FPS lag. And Morphling very, very low as well. But we do see a Woke coming in with that Impetus, getting so many kills. Morphling gets 1 kill as well, and they weren't even gonna get a kill on the Pugna. We see the early game aggression from the Scourge team, winning this game quite handily so far. And meanwhile, there's a gank going on the jungle as well. Clockwork trying to get what he can, but no, Morphling comes in with yet another surf attack. No, that was Chen, excuse me. Can they get a good hook? No, they're going to try to get a hook on the Morphling. Morphling is not going to get a kill. A huge cluster F of creeps. Does Morphling have... he has another waveform, no problem. I think that was a lot of kills being exchanged, but the Scourge came very ahead out of that. Oh my god, spawn spiderlings absolutely everywhere. You could keep the Brewmother down in terms of laning stage, but with good enough micro, you could just do this all over the map. And now a lot of pressure down, and in the span of like half a minute, 1 minute, Scourge just put up so much pressure on every single lane of the Sentinel, and I think Sentinel just digged himself in a big hole as we see a big engagement. YRF goes down, the Syllabare is going to go down, Crystal Maiden is going to go down as well, and I think this kill is being stretched a little bit too far. Decryptify actually stops the kill on the Woke. A tower being picked off as well. You're seeing a 2 and 10 and a 3 tower deficit against LGD, and I don't think any way LGD expected it to themselves to be down so far ahead. Windrunner 56 creep kill has a phase boot. She is not gonna die to the Brewmother, but I don't think she's gonna get a kill on the Broodmother either. So the only 2 kills came from the initial laning stages against the Pugna, and this is mostly a one-sided stomp. And you can see that Tyloo having the great picks just won themselves in the game. They had advantage in mostly every lane. The only lane that had relatively some small trouble was their bot lane for the Broodmother, but Broodmother handled themselves fine, because in terms of early killing power, the Syllabir is definitely not that good until you hit level 6, and this tower at the bot lane is threatening to be taken down as we see a big convergence coming in. Both Shaker and the Enchantress have the mana boots, and that means they could cast absolutely non-stop. They could just cast literally non-stop. Does Pugna have a mana boot? No, he has Scorn for Treads. I have yet to see a team go 5 mana boots push, and I think it's definitely not a bad, or at least like a 4 mana boot push. I definitely think it's not that bad, because it just grants yourself so much mana, and they are going to try to get a gank. They are going to kill the Shaker, and that's going to be huge. Get me a hook. Oh, hook misses. Point blank hook, and that is going to be bad. Oh, good shackle shot on the Enchantress though, but can they get anything done? Broodmother running so very quickly and not too sure who to focus. Windrunner grabs herself out. The Shaker goes down. Hand of God comes in, but I think the Chen is going to go down. So that was a 1-for-1 exchange. But trading the Chen for the Shaker is not a bad trade at all, because Shaker does a lot more AoE damage. But regardless, I think the Scourge, yes, they are going to pick up yet another tower kill. So that's 4-0 in terms of tower kill. And anytime you see in terms of a tower advantage like that, you're watching a good stomp. And right now, the Scourge player absolutely filthy rich. Let's see what Morphling build. He's going to go for BKB. Yes, this is the strongest and most early game build you could possibly have for a Morphling. He's going to finish his BKB, waveform in, activates BKB, and just go to town. He might die, but he should have the he should have the Morph to give himself even more HP if it starts to get low. So I think in that regard, Scourge is playing absolutely brilliantly in terms of both play and the item choice as well. You know, when we're trying to do whatever they should to defend, but between the Nether Ward and all these amount of AoE, all these amount of healing, and the mana restorative coming from the Scourge, there's no way they could repel this push. They don't even need to push this down. They could just turn back and go for the Roshan. I think they have better teamfight capability as well. Until the Syllabir gets ridiculously amount of farm with the early Radiance, there's nothing you could do against this. And I don't think the Syllabir is going to get early Radiance, as we see the 5th tower being claimed by the Scourge team, and they're going to turn back for Roshan. They definitely can. No, they're going to go back for even more farm. Syllabir is trying to get his farm on. Let's check his gold. He does have 2,400, and that's pretty respectable farm despite, I mean, you're losing tower after tower. You're being pressured down so hard. So ZSMJ, true to his form, still has pretty good bulk of gold on his pocket, but no, Scourge is going to be answering back with a big smoke gang. Let's see if they can get anything done. I think they might have scoped out something. No, I think both these guys are going to go down. All they need is a single good Fissure, and they are going to get a very easy Fissure. Decryptify. Ooh, that was probably not the best Fissure. As we see, Clockwork just goes the other way. Can he make it out alive? We do have a Hand of God coming. I think he should try to TP it, or maybe he's going to go for a return kill. He's not going to get a return kill. Crystal Maiden lives through that, but critically, YYF falls down, and I think Scourge is going to transition into a big push here, and this is a push that Sentinel will not be able to defend. They do have the Morphling at top lane. Morphling won't be able to do too much of assisting the push, but he does have the BKB finish and an ultimate wall. What a fine Morphling. I think in this case, it's better to go to Manta style, because you just want to end the game early. Now, just going to teleport to mid lane, waveform farm this, and then probably join to the bot lane for even more pushing power. But just with these 4 heroes, because you have the Broodmother, because you have basically unlimited mana, you could just push non-stop. And we have... Oh, did he steal the chance creep? Was this chance creep? I'm not too sure. And it looks like Sentinel is going to be on the offensive. Still, Syllabir does not have that relic finish. Let me see his goal. He's at 3,200, 600 away. And I mean, if they could defend... if they could defend for long enough, they could hold on. I won't say they will win this game, because I highly doubt it. But they can make the game at least a little bit more interesting. Now, we'll see though. I mean, LGD definitely is a team capable of coming with good comeback. I think last time in the 2-game series I casted between LGD and Tyloo, there was one game where LGD was just like really on the ropes, and they still lost the game, but they made some very good end game team fights. That for a second there made me thought, oh man, are they gonna win this game? Are they gonna do a magnificent comeback? So the possibility of comeback is there, and it just depends on how well LGD plays and if Tyloo messes up. But true to form, I have not seen Tyloo messes up like that badly at all. I've never really seen Tyloo mess up. They're one of those teams that they're probably like not as good as CCM in terms of execution, but they're a really good team just solely on the merit of not making mistakes. I never really see Tyloo make many mistakes in terms of item choices, in terms of picks, in terms of play. I never really see them make a lot of wrong mistakes. And like I said in all my Chinese commentary, I believe the team, especially in Chinese play, the team that makes less mistakes is the team that is going to win the game. That's what I believe. But looks like the Scourge team is gonna go for the Roshan, and with the Aegis ending up on the Morphling, he could just safely Wavestorm win, BKB, distract as long as possible, and then you can have the entire Scourge team railing on your tower, railing on Raxus, and there's absolutely nothing the Sentinel could do. Let me see how much gold Morphling's banking. Banking 1400 gold. I think you can finish a Yasha relatively quickly. We might see the Scourge team just wait to have the Manta completed and then go for a push. We'll see though. Meanwhile, Broodmother just going absolutely everywhere. Broodmother's farm is not the best. Has gone for Vanguard first, which is very questionable. You do need the extra HP, but I'm not too sure whether you want the Vanguard. I think BKB would have been a better choice, although BKB is twice as expensive as the Vanguard. But I think what this Vanguard is really for is like, okay, I know that we're ahead in this game, and I want to win this game early. Yes, BKB is a better item. Orchids is definitely a lot better as an item. But none of these items give me as good bonus as a Vanguard does, and never as early as the Vanguard does. So I just want to finish my early game item and then just win the game. There's no reason to save for late game items if you could win the game right now. And that's definitely what the Scourge is going for. And case to point, this is a BKB. Generally, you don't see it. Like, you never see that early of a BKB on a Morphling unless you're going for the win early. So, and with that regard, I think Vanguard is a very excellent choice. No, they're gonna do a lot of teleportation, trying to defend the tower. I'm not too sure what the Scourge. It's just, I mean, they could definitely just go in and win the game. They have the Aegis, or maybe they're definitely waiting for that Manta style. That's not a bad choice. No, Morphling does have a replicate at the mid lane, so I totally forgot about that. So she could just defend and then go back for the push. And now there's a relic picked up on ZSMJ, and he does have 900 gold in the bank, so he's fairly close. I think Scourge, Scourge should make it pushing as quick as they can, and they are going to go for that right now. A lot of damage on Pugna. Pugna is fine though. She is really healthy in HP. A lot of focus. Ooh, great Shackle shot. Did someone go down? No, that was not the Aegis. And having Syllabear will allow you to take down the ward, and that's going to be good. No, Decryptify on the ward, just delaying a little bit longer. But the Sentinel need to send someone to defend this, because we could see the amount of Spiderlings on it. It's just insane on this bot tower. Crystal Maiden and the Clockwork is going to be going down. That means that the Sentinel is going to be a lot weaker in the middle lane. Yes, they're going to come up the hill. We're going to have Nether Blast going on completely and endlessly on this tower. And keep in mind that with 2 Arcane Boots, he could do this non-stop. There's a mecha and a point booster finish. And let's see what the Sentinel can muster up in terms of the pen. There's a good split push. Broodmother's at the bot lane. There's just so much pressure. Just absolutely endless amount of pressure coming in from Scourge. They're going to go for a kill. Oh, missed Shackle shot. Unfortunately, I think if they have gotten that Shackle shot, they definitely would have killed the Broodmother. I think in return, they would have definitely slowed down the push. It looks like Syllabear with Radiance is coming. Can he get a kill on the Pugna? No, they can't. Tower is very low. But I think, yeah, they're going to just turn back for now. All these guys at low HP, or are they going to just heal up and continue to push? I would like to see that. Yes, they're going to heal up and continue to push. Meanwhile, Broodmother about lane just constantly putting up that pressure. Just telling the Sentinel, hey you guys, you gotta attend to me sometimes. Don't just go back to the mid lane. But there's a ray of hope. Did ZSMJ sell his boots? Yeah, ZSMJ actually sold his boots. The second game we see heroes selling their boots, trying to complete their Radiance in time, and they are going to get a tower. Is in deny range. Let's see if LGD is going to deny that. No, they're not. Meanwhile, Broodmother is getting her farm on the bot lane. 3k go in the bank for the Broodmother, and that Orga is going to be done quickly, and 3k go on the Morphling. And she's gonna have he's gonna have his Manta done as well. So that's pretty much the game, and well, we'll see. Now I think a couple of you guys have said, hey Luminous, why don't you just 2x the replay until it's done? You know, when the game is really decided like this, why don't you just 2x the replay so you know the game gets done faster? I would like to do that, but one of my biggest goals is to do some live casting in big tournaments, and unfortunately, in a live cast tournament, and if there's a stomp or if there's a really boring pick phase, I can't just walk up to the player and be like, hey guys, you know, you guys mind speeding the process a little bit up. I know you guys have lost already. Can you just GG? I can't do that, right? So, oh, as we see how 4-stat being purchased on Winmer. Yeah, so I'm just keeping it as true to the real thing as possible. Even if there's some dragged out games, I'm going to try my best to give the best analysis until the very end. And I'm not going to slouch out. And hopefully you guys could sit there and watch to the end as possible. Even though the game is pretty much decided. But I think in terms of the late game stage, you can still learn for some of the best things. And like, you know, if you just watched like the first 15 minutes of the commentary, you would have missed out on the BKB purchase on the Morphling. You'd have missed out on the Vanguard purchase on the Broodmother, which on both items is not exactly the most standard yet or cookie cutter build. But in this case, it's going to work out fine for Tyloo here. Broodmother continued to do the harass on the bottom lane, and it looks like the mid tower was going down. I think they definitely should have denied that tower, because that tower is not going to defend anything. And we just saw some really cute enchant Holy Persuasion combo. It's still a bit going back and just doing some little bit Radiance burn damage, but I mean, they are just delaying the inevitable here. Once we see the orc get completed, I think this Tyloo could just go for a full frontal push. They get the silence on one of these Sentinel hero, probably the Windrunner or probably a Crystal Maiden or maybe the Clockwork. All very good choices. The silence in itself is not going to really hurt the Sentinel too much because they're not really that spell reliant, but the silence is going to be good for, oh my god, Clock runs in, he's going to die before he does anything. It looks like the patience of LGD just kind of ran out, and the Clockwork buys back, so I mean, okay, so he basically ran and took a whole bunch of nukes and bought back. I guess that's fine, I suppose. And Holy Persuasion enchant battle going on? No, yeah, there we go. Holy Persuasion enchant. Looks like Broodmother has gone to the mid lane. Yes, they're gonna go for the push right now. We do have a Scotty finished, so never mind the whole Manta. I think Manta will still be better, but you know, whatever. At this point, they can get whatever item and they want and can win the game. And here we go. The assault on the racks has begun, and it seems like there's nothing they can do about it. Syllabert already down 1 life, so if you kill the Syllabert once again, there's nothing to do. But Clock initiation on 2 hero. That's great initiation. They do kill off the Shaker and the Broodmother. Very low HP. So in transitions, but the BKB Morphling kills the Syllabert. The Syllabert have buyback. Syllabert does not have buyback. Broodmother is gonna go on town on the Crystal Maiden. Amongst these amount of creeps, amongst the Pugna in the game, yeah, GG is called by Tron, and game 1 very quickly goes down to Tyloo. Can you believe the Chinese game has a 24-minute GG? This, again, in the last couple of my Chinese commentaries, I've been telling you guys, Chinese games nowadays has been decided so early in the game, and I made a joke about, hey, LGD has lost the game 4 minutes into the ban phase or pick phase, but I mean, looking at how this game progressed, you could kind of see Pugna, Morphling, Broodmother, Enchantress, and the Shaker is just an insane combo. Once I saw the Shaker and the Morphling, I just felt like the Sentinel would have a difficult time going into the Scourge team. You could see that the Scourge team was perched in front of the Sentinel base for like at least 5 minutes, but there was no instance where Sentinel could jump in, because having an Enchantress with the enchant, having the Impetus damage, and critically having the Shaker there, it just makes it so hard for you to jump in. And that's how LGD lost the game. They did have the Clockwork. Clockwork tried to jump in, and he just died, and that wasn't pretty. And at the end, he had a very good cog, but unfortunately his teammate was not able to follow up. And I think that is one of the bigger issue of having a Clockwork on your team. You need to have teammate coordination to follow up. And unfortunately, LGD was not able to do so. The pressure was insane from top and bottom, constantly streaming in for the Scourge. And I think Tyloo just played a mistake-free game, and that's why they won. I won't say that LGD made many mistakes, but there were a couple ganks there was one gank that failed, and that was the only gank on the Broodmother. I think LGD, if they want to win the game, they have to gank the Broodmother more effectively. I think there were some good ganks coming from the LGD on the mid lane, but I mean, mid lane, although it wasn't, I don't think it was a Pugna that won them the game. It was a Broodmother that didn't die and got critically a lot of levels, a lot of EXP that won Tyloo the game. So I think game 1 goes to Tyloo in this manner. And this is best of 5 series. So I will be casting the next, I guess, 4 or 5 games, hopefully. And hopefully you guys will stay tuned for that. And that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. This is Luminous signing off. GG, guys.